back to Cuyahoga Sound Podcast. Ready to get rolling?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I'm ready.
I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
And today we've got Rob Rocks.
Rob Rocks. Yeah. I just came up with that recently.
I know, yeah. That's a good one.
We're going with it.
Yeah.
I had to do something.
I have a rock on my last name too, but it doesn't rock as hard as rock.
Yeah, Stone. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, if you have a tendency to wobble, you go with rock.
What's the difference between a rock and a stone? Is there like a dictionary definition difference?
One is used for like a weight measurement. I know that, right? Like weigh 30 stone, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the difference.
All right.
Now we know everything.
Anyway, Rob here, a hardworking musician. How many gigs you do about a month?
Well, this year, since Memorial Day, I've done about 50. So I've been busy this summer.
Yeah, you've been busy.
But I've only been doing this for a little over a year and a half since I made the transition from cover bands and stuff.
What kind of cover bands were you in?
80s.
80s?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's been my life since the 80s.
Yeah.
I've been in a few original bands, in home recording and stuff like that, doing original material. Never was serious about it, just for my own personal satisfaction. But yeah, 80s bands, that was my thing. It was in my blood. And then about 2 years ago, it just almost like I got burned out. There was a switch that just was I'm not having fun. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think a lot of people had that, man.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID hit.
That's when it was.
Yeah.
It was right before COVID. I remember one show specifically. I was at Slim and Chubby's in Strongsville, and I'm playing it packed. People are dancing, having a blast, and I'm just kind of stop playing. I'm standing there, turn the volume off. I'm just standing there, and nobody's noticing that I'm just standing here.
They're still dancing nothing
and
changed.
And they're having fun, and I had fun, so much fun, doing it. But it's just that one instant, I'm like, this isn't, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. So COVID hit right after that, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I just need a break. So everything got shut down. We were still doing a couple of yacht club shows, like Port Clinton and Marblehead and stuff like that. Except, private, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I'm still not ready to start doing this. And then we started going in, and then it was kind of a mutual thing where it just melted.
Yeah. I felt the same type of thing during COVID. I was doing cover stuff, and for me it was I was feeling burnt out from it. Mm-hmm. So and I'd been fighting that. And then when everything started opening up and I was like, man, I started feeling guilty. I'm like, I might be getting people sick for something that I don't really want to do. Mm-hmm. So and then it's also I enjoyed my time in the cover scene when I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt I want to do more art, and I feel like I'm doing paint by numbers. Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean.
Kind of the way I put it. Paint by numbers.
That's the way you put it that turned me off to it again.
I'm ruining the cover scene in Cleveland with my paint by numbers.
But when I was doing it, I was having a blast. I mean, I was genuinely just loving it.
Yeah.
We had so much fun. The stuff that would go off behind the scenes, not stuff that the band was doing, but stuff that we would experience. It was like watching Spinal Tap in real life every day. Things were so ridiculous, and it's I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
And we just had so much fun, and then
it's always a good time. Always lots of drinking and lots of jamming and lots of playing music.
Never bored. I was never bored.
I would get bored playing 8675309 for the 100th time that month, or songs I really hated.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mind if if it was everywhere we played it was packed dance floor. So if we're doing Pour Some Sugar on Me, I'm up there putting on a show. I'm loving it. I'm smiling.
And who were you with at this time?
Billy Morris, Sunset
Okay.
Strip.
All right.
But if I'm in my car and I got the radio on and Pour Some Sugar, on me, comes on.
You got to turn it off.
My hand got to that knob faster than the speed of light. don't.
Oh yeah.
But in
I
front of
get
a crowd, though, I love it.
I get it. Yeah, Ruined a lot of songs.
For me, it's the '90s stuff. It's what's the Lithium is the channel on Sirius XM. Yeah, like I can't listen to it anymore. I played, I had a great time when I was doing it, but I've played every song that they play way too many times. And and then I had some where I was with the '80s stuff when I was playing stuff that was with a click track. I hear some of those songs, and I always had my cue in my ear of when it was going to end of beep, boom, 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 beep. So like I literally hear that at the song, any song that doesn't end on its own and just trails off. Like I instinctively hear that at the end of every song, and it like some of them I love, and I just get to that, and I'm like, fuck, it's ruined it.
When we did that Chili Peppers bands, I mean, they were a part of my normal listening rotation. Now I like barely listen to them.
What was great with them though is they end their songs. Like we didn't have to come up with endings on the Chili Pepper songs.
Oh yeah.
So you said it like it was on the record.
Yeah, they end their songs. They don't fade out.
Fade out like everything in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, they don't fade out. That was something that was really refreshing. Was like, hey, we'll just play it like the album. We're good. Let's move on.
That was again, a very, very fun time. You know, but getting them drilled in your head and like listen to them from that standpoint rather than just enjoying the song.
Like Talk Dirty to Me. I learned that in probably 1986 when I was in a high school band playing for a variety show, and then you keep playing it over and over again, and and then some bands are like, oh, we need to rehearse. No, we don't need to rehearse.
No rehearsal.
Now that was the cool thing about Sunset Strip. We were together for, I want to say I was in the band for 8 years, and we had 3 rehearsals I think during that time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Beautiful.
And one of them was to work on choreography.
All right, that's something different.
Cool.
Did the drummer come to that one?
I don't think he came to that one. No.
I remember
The
we
twirls,
had.
man.
Well, we had a. I asked because we had a ZZ Top tribute that I was in, and they were doing like the shoulder forward thing for the listening audience, like left and then right shoulder, and I would start to do that while I was drumming, just like fucking around, but like didn't rehearse it at all. But yeah, you got to get those twirls right.
Yeah. Did anything come with that CC Top band that Dennis was doing? Did they do some gigs?
We did some gigs. Yeah, I was drumming in that one.
Oh, you were in that one.
I was
too?
in
Is
that
that
one.
the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Top.
CC Top, carbon copy. Yeah, see?
CCR and ZZ Top
Yeah.
songs.
You know where ZZ Top got their name from?
I don't.
Barn Doors, wasn't it? I heard.
Well, I don't know the truth, but the story I heard was ZZ, Zigzag, and Tops.
Oh, all right.
Papers.
They were the moving sidewalks before that, I believe.
Were they?
I think so. I think there was moving side. Yeah,
ZZ Top.
just random shit I can pull out of
Just
my head.
joint papers.
I watched a documentary on them, though, and that was really entertaining.
Yeah.
Educational.
You see Billy before he had a
Yeah,
beard.
yeah.
Just some nerdy looking
Yeah.
dudes. There's a clip of
I've never
Hendrix
seen
talking about him. Like he was
Really?
like he's like, oh yeah, this. He started talking about him about like guitarists we should look out for, and Hendrix is talking about Billy Gibbons.
Cool.
That's pretty cool, man.
Cool.
Yeah, I watch a lot of music documentaries.
All right.
What? You look like you were going somewhere with that.
I interrupted you.
I wasn't.
No. Well, I was gonna say you were way into the '80s stuff, so right away I was gonna go to all right. Give us top 3 hair metal music videos.
Top 3. Girls.
Okay.
Let's see.
Or hard rock doesn't have to be like strictly
popular
hair.
or that I liked.
That you like. Let's go with your.
The one that I really liked was
Hot for Teacher.
It's Not Love from Dokken when they were on the semi truck riding around town.
Yeah.
That was another one. And then let's see.
Very similar to what is it? Keep Your Hands to Yourself. They were riding in the back of that pickup
very
truck.
similar. Just different. Just a little different.
A little different. Yeah.
And then the third one would gotta be probably like Round and Round from Rat.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah. I was
Milton
glued. I was
Berle
glued.
in that one. Yeah.
No, I was in the 80s. I was like the kid glued to MTV. Come home from school, sit in front of the TV and just watch MTV for hours.
Same. That's what did it for me. Like we were just talking in our last podcast. Like when I saw Tommy Lee like flipping upside down in a drum set, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that from now on. So I was like, how am I going to outdo it? So my middle school, I came up with the idea I want to do a hamster ball, and they can roll me in the crowd. Drum set and a hamster ball. Still got to work on that.
I'm surprised someone hasn't done that yet.
Right?
Maybe it has been done.
There's some footage on YouTube of Mick Mars's band before Motley Crue.
Really?
And their drummer had the drum riser hooked up to like a garage door track, and it flipped up on its side.
That's cool.
And people run out because it's about to tip over and crush the guy. It's hilarious. Like, it's a hilarious video to check out on YouTube. I don't remember what the name of the band was, but it's Mick Mars's band before Motley Crue.
Well, I'm when it comes to 80s, it's mostly like over my head for me.
You're not missing.
Well, I'm down.
I was a
there.
90s.
I got you.
But I think Billy Joe Armstrong on MTV was what did it for me. Like, I think like spitting water, like just chugging water and like spitting it into this huge crowd, just like playing these easy power chords that I like. All I knew on guitar at the time. Like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna do that. And then Bush, I think, was the next one. Like, oh, this music's so easy to play, and like Nirvana, and then what else? Blink 182 even later. But that was like my MTV.
Yeah, you came in for like round 2, the second.
Well, I think that what you said right there is kind of what stopped the 80s and went to the next phase, because like the guitar players were just getting faster and faster, and then these kids were like, that's impossible.
Have to be
so they're like,
way.
I'm going to do my own thing, and then just like rebel against it, and then they came out with that.
Yeah. Yeah, not everybody's Yngwie.
Yeah. But now kids, like, you get a 13-year-old, watching YouTube and all the tools to their disposal, and now they're like playing faster than most guys.
Yeah, I would never play.
Yeah. It's great to see though that like young kids are out there doing that stuff. It's cool as hell. Now I really sound old.
Wait,
These young whippersnappers on the YouTubes.
Back in my day, we had to shave our guitar picks.
I think about that a lot, though. If we had that kind of, if we grew up now, like with that kind of resources, if like this would have been what we did, with anything, any information at our disposal, and like I'll just examples of how to do things awesome in every facet of life. Like, just go watch a video. Like, would it have been music?
There's less trial and error, I think, though, with that. Like, now you're like, this is how you do it right. Not like you play it wrong a bunch of times, and then somebody's like, dude, that's not it. You're like way off.
Well, for me, like we had the tablature, and I think somebody mentioned that on other interviews I've watched from you guys. You study tab, and then like I got to the point where, I was at my level of talent, technique, whatever you want to call it, and then I immediately just like put on the brakes. I'm like, okay, if I got to work this hard to get faster or more technical, like I don't want to do that. So I found my limit, my little comfort zone, and I stayed in there.
Cool. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
If it works for you.
I just accepted it. Like, I'm not going to be the fastest guitar player. I'm not going to be the most technical.
I've been there tons of times, and like I think I think when I see, like, going to concerts and like seeing like new music and new ways of playing it, and I get a little inspired and like go try to take it to the next level as best as I can, and then like that pushes it a little bit, but it's basically just that one night.
Yeah, there's some guitar players that like inspire you to go home and play, and some of them inspire you to go home and sell everything.
You want to put it in a case and leave it.
Yep. Like, this is all going on
I'm
reverb.
done, yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, I went through a John Petrucci phase where I was in the Dream Theater and stuff like that, and like I'm just like I love listening to him.
That's an impossible standard to hold yourself to.
And he would always do he would have songs that you could play, but he would always throw about a 20-second blip in there that you're not going to be able to play. So it's like, it's like you can learn part of the song, but that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah, on drums it was like Danny Carey trying to keep up with Tool. I'm like, but then you get it right once, and you're, like it's a really good high.
Did it? I'm done. No.
Hooray for me.
When you do it right. Finally, try to do it right 3 times in a row. Is my rule.
That's your rule. All right. Got any other rules for us?
No, I mean, not that I can think of. I don't really think a lot. I kind of just flow.
That's the way to go.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Because like there's times where I'm sure everyone's been the same place. You start thinking like before a show or whatever, like, how's this song go? and then you're like, you start to freak out.
Yeah.
And
Right,
and because you're thinking about it, but if you just go out there and just be like, then it just comes out.
For me as the drummer, it's always like, how does that start? How does that start? Like, I'm like, I know that whole
everyone's looking
fucking
at you.
song. How does that start? So like, I'll
Right.
be
whole
sitting
band's
there in
looking
between
at
this, like, especially like a fill-in gig. Like, I'm like, I know this stuff, but I'm sitting there like right before it starts with my phone to my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Been there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I keep little headphones on my amp now, just for any time that, because that could, I do. Like, if that happens, like, all right, between songs, I'm never the guy in the microphone, so no one's looking at me doing this.
So let's go through your musical history. Where's the beginning, the influences, and how you got into music?
The beginning was probably my mom singing. She sang a lot. She'd be cleaning the house, singing. She would listen to like Bing Crosby, because she was older when I was born. She was already 40, I believe. So she was like, maybe Simon and Garfunkel was in there. So that stuff started getting in my head, at an early age. And then I had 3 older sisters. They were listening to like the Bay City Rollers. They were big into. We had an 8-track player in the van. John Denver, Anne Murray, a bunch of stuff like that. And then they started getting into Meatloaf, Rocky Horror Picture Show, the Bee Gees, the whole disco thing. And then so I'm listening to all this stuff and thinking this is normal, And then I don't know where I saw it, but Kiss, appeared, And then I started getting into that, and I forget how old I was. Because I was born in 69, so Love Gun came out, 76, 77, something like that?
Yeah.
So I would have been maybe 8 or 9 or 10, somewhere around. I'm not good with math. But that was my first album I got. And I see these guys with, larger-than-life people. And there's, on the album, there's the women with their, and I'm like,
boobies.
I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be that guy, those guys when I grow up. And so I started getting into Kiss, and then at the same time, I started struggling in school. Not attitude-wise, I just, didn't do good. I didn't want to read. I wanted to, math was cool. I want to rock. That's what I want to do now. But
he was hot for teacher though, so we couldn't pay.
Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. Hey teacher, leave those kids alone was coming out. And then so I kind of grabbed a hold of that song. And then that guitar player, Dave Gilmour, from Pink Floyd, that singing of his guitar playing really spoke to me. So I liked the glam image of Kiss, but the feel of David Gilmour. So I started, that was the start of it, listening to that. And then I joined the high school band, and so I got a little bit of theory, playing the euphonium and baritone and stuff like that. And then I got a guitar when I was probably 9 or 10. Wanted a guitar. Couldn't play it, so I just air guitar. Front of the mirror, Vacuum cleaner's my microphone stand, so I'm doing that in front of the mirror for years. And then I just couldn't pick up the guitar. I couldn't figure it out. And then, how I started getting into repairing. I sat on it, on the couch, cracked my neck. So I went to the library, and they're like, you just use a spatula, heat it up. So I started at probably age 10 or 11 or 12 fixing.
From library books.
Yeah, from fixing my guitar. And I made
That's important information. Rob used to do my setups before Chuck Kaminsky of BasementTrader.com.
Yeah, I gave up the whole thing. But
you don't do that anymore?
No, I got so busy with and I have a day job. I got a career, and
That's always a bummer.
yeah, but I love it. Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be an astronaut, and
Yeah.
What's your day job?
Astronaut.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
No, I work for a contract company. We build space flight hardware for NASA, SpaceX.
All right. So it is space.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm not an astronaut, but I build spaceships.
help 'em.
Yeah.
And then I'm not a rock star, but I pretend like I'm one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the whole back to the guitar thing. I went to a music store, and guy was playing Smoke on the Water. that looks kind of easy for what he's doing. The sound's coming out. And I'm like, hey, man, how you doing that? He's like, oh, you just do this. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. He's like, here, try it. And I'm like, I got it, like, close. And that was like, boom.
Yeah.
That's all I got to do to sound like that, So you get that power chord sound, And then it took off from there. So that's how.
It's great. You mentioned David Gilmour in there. That's the guitar player I turn to when I'm in the sell my gear mode. Is like, you know what? I don't have to be that fast. Like, David Gilmour is not playing lightning fast through this, but it's fucking amazing, and it's getting that feel through there. And like, he's the one that always brings me back to like, all right, let's keep doing this.
Yeah, I can listen to that stuff just, because it's like, it's just a feel thing, It's got so much mood and emotion in one note, and other guys are sitting there trying to play 700 in that little bit of time, and that one note speaks more.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to listen to one of their albums on the drive home.
Yeah. I want to get that Dark Side pedal. Have you seen that? I forget who makes it. There's the...
Was it just to make you sound like him?
It's got you get it. Gives you his fingers and everything while you're at it, But
Does it have different, like, how many different settings?
It's basically, it's like everything that he would use all in one box.
Wow. On that album?
It gives you all those sounds. And from what I've heard through the YouTubes, it seems pretty cool. Yeah, it's
I've
like
seen
$200.
one of those.
I might get one of those.
Guitarist.
I'm looking up who makes it.
It was Brian May. I saw a pedal that Digitech made it, I think, and it was just all his tones for like 7 different songs.
You can keep talking. I'm looking up who makes that pedal.
I'm waiting to hear the answer to who makes it.
Cool. I love Pink Floyd. They were one of my big influences too.
Yeah, I got into them early on, and then the 80s I kind of drifted away from because I was into Motley Crue, Dokken, Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi was a band that like you liked, but you didn't tell anyone you liked them.
So the Keeley Dark Side workstation has fuzz, delay, and modulation, and the Keeley engineers painstakingly extracted the nuances of earlier transistor-based fuzzes.
All right, they're not sponsoring us, man. That's enough.
They might if I keep going on.
Just kidding. Who is sponsoring us?
Chuck Kaminsky, the basement trader, the setup guy that put Rob here out of work.
Yeah,
that's what it was, really.
It was the Thunder from Painesville, Ohio.
Is that where he's at? Painesville?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, BASSMENT. Trader.com. Cool guitars, basses, other oddities, buy, sell, trades, repairs. He's done all of my axes, including my basses. And if you go to basementtrader.com, you can see all that he's got to offer and links to his reverb stores.
Yeah, he's got 2 reverb stores. One is like guitars and basses, and the other is amps and effects and other accessories for your guitars. And he's now selling, he sells some new gear too from Nashville Guitar Works, which are basically like Fender clones. It's super affordable prices on these ones. They're like, I think it's like $229 or something for a Telecaster, brand new.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, when I was over there, he had them all laid out when he first got partnered with them, and
Pretty maids all in a row.
That's right. Let's talk about Jason Myers.
Is that Jason Patrick Myers?
Jason Patrick Myers,
with the weird spelling of the last name?
MEYERS.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, go to Roots of American Music. It's a nonprofit that helps get music to younger kids in underprivileged areas.
Yeah,
right?
And it's rootsofamericamusic.org if you're looking to donate there or help out in any way, shape, or form. Thank you, Jason, for all that you're doing out there.
Yeah, he also has a program similar to ours from 9 to 11 on 88.7. Right?
Yes, WJCU.
Neo Rocks, NEO Rocks.
Yes.
Yeah, like Rob Rocks, yeah.
Northeast Ohio Rocks.
Northeast Ohio Rocks. And
Figured
it's
that
2
out
hours,
myself.
2 hours dedicated to Cleveland musicians and on-air interviews with Cleveland musicians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of playlists dedicated to Cleveland musicians.
It's not podcasts?
Not podcasts.
Oh, all right. Thanks.
We're also in partnership with Listen CLE, who is mood-based playlist showcasing music from Northeast Ohio artists. That's mood-based, not genre-based. Real cool.
What is love and groove? energy boost, chill. How have we not lost this card yet?
Feel Good, Misery Loves Company, Rock Out, Night Driving, Acoustic Cuts. Those are all 9 playlists, and they're all Northeast Ohio artists.
And
I
they,
just applied to them.
oh, so you went on their
artist database.
yeah, the database.
So if they're listening.
That was the next thing we were going to talk about for them. So, hey, actually, we have a firsthand experience. Can you tell us about how easy it was to get set up on there?
Yeah, it just give you information. I believe it said if you're like a musical act or whatever, and obviously music, and then group, small group, large group, or solo. I click solo. Upload a photo. I got plenty of those.
Cool. Did you tell about like the space or power you require for your act, anything like that?
I think there was a space for that. I didn't fill that out.
Cool.
Because I can be either powered, unpowered. I'm pretty portable.
Yeah.
Cool. Before we get, then let's go back to you before we get to our last couple sponsors. We'll do them later. All right. Tell us about your solo act.
Okay, it's when I started. I quit the band. I took about 6 months off, sat in front of the fire pit. I'm like, is this what normal people do?
The weekends are weird when you first quit, right?
Hey, you sit around the fire pit, and I'm like, all fidgety. And then I saw Amy's Arbors is a little wine bar in Valley City, and I saw a thing on Facebook where somebody was playing there, and I'm like, click on that. I'm like, I could do that. I think I could do that. And Amy was actually my wedding planner, so I know her personally, and so I call her, hey, Amy. I'm like, I've been doing this acoustic act I just started doing. I wasn't doing it, but I told her, I'm like, I'm doing this acoustic act. And I was thinking about playing at your place if you want. And she's like, you want to play here? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I got an available date in 2 weeks. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay. And she told me the date. I confirmed it, wrote it down. And I'm like, I got to come up with the show in 2 weeks.
3, 4 hours?
Yeah. Okay. And I was never a lead singer. I was always the guitar player, singing backup. Billy would make me sing, 5 songs. You're singing 5 songs. Okay. And so I knew, 5 songs that I sang. And then, but the cool thing was that when I was in college, I used to, play my acoustic, just strumming, and I would sing 90s songs. Even though I wasn't a 90s guy, I could sing them because I think they're easier to sing than 80s songs. Yeah. And so I started, I'm thinking, okay, there's 5 more I can do. And I just started printing out chords and lyrics, and I had this big binder and a big music stand, and figuring out what to do. Mm-hmm. And the first show was fun because I had a lot of friends and family there, so everyone's having fun. It was very rough, but I got through it. Everybody had fun, and Amy's like, "Hey, let's do this again." I'm like, "Sure," and she's like, "Yeah." And then probably the next over 5 to 10 shows, it really was just easier and easier and easier. And then after about 3 months, I ditched the mic, the music stand, and then I got a little phone clip. So I got to the point where half the songs I memorized, and then other ones I just need lyrics for. And it just went through that way, and it's been getting better and better.
Cool. You just chords and singing? Do you do loops at all, or beats or keys, anything?
I use a looper, the RC300 Boss C300.
I have that one.
And I love that because I can throw one beat on one, on the guitar, and then done. And I can go over to building the chord structure. And I don't always use the chord structure. I would say probably most of the songs I just do a drum beat,
So one of the built-in drum beats?
Yeah.
Or you
No, I do them. Nothing's
all on the acoustic?
Yeah, nothing's electronic beats. Nothing's pre-recorded. I don't do any tracks. But I do use this pedal, Electro Harmonics Mel 9. You guys familiar with it? Mm-hmm. The Mel 9 it's the Mellotron simulator. So if you play a chord, it recognizes every note of those chords, and it simulates it. And you can do strings, cello, and you can dry, wet, blend your guitar.
Is that the same series that's the organ pedal?
Yeah, they made
the
a couple
C9
of them.
Or the B9?
They're all 9 series, and that thing I love it because I have it real subtle, but I'll do verse, chorus, and then the second chorus I'll kick it in just real subtle in the background, and it just really You know, a lot of people don't even notice it's there, but I do.
But because the song builds without anyone knowing. That's
Because that's one thing
trick.
that whenever I play, whether it's a cover band, original music, doing acoustic stuff, I'm very big on dynamics. It's got to be, building. There's got to be emotion to it. It can't be just play the chords. I don't sit down. I stand up. I pose with the guitar while I'm playing, and that's why I went with Rob Rocks, because it's like I'm up there, basically doing 80 songs, 90 songs, 70, 60, whatever, and I'm like, I'm up to rock, and I don't like.
Yeah, people are out to see you.
Yeah.
They're not just there to hear.
Yeah, and it's cool because there's often I'll get people actually dancing, which I didn't think I would ever do as an acoustic artist solo, and just you get that beat going though.
Yeah.
I want you to want me. So it gets them going.
Cool. You ever make it a duo or a trio?
I have not for a full show. I come from the school of, hey, if I know you and you're a musician, hey, come on up. What song you want to do? So. Yeah. I've had people playing. I did a show.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
Chris Hatton?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was bartending at a place that he was playing, and he's like, come on up, let's do a song. I'm like, oh, yeah, those are fucking cool.
Yeah, I didn't know of him before, because this whole type of music is new to me, and the crowd. And me and my wife, we went to Square 22 in Strongsville. It's a little nice restaurant, and he was playing there. And I'm like, all right, let's see what this guy sounds like. And
This is after you already started doing your...
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw what he was doing. He's doing similar what I was doing. He's but different. I mean, I'm like...
He's got a keyboard and a drum machine, right?
I don't think he did. I think he was making his loops. He made them more sophisticated than what I do. He was like... But I remember telling my wife, I'm like, this guy's good. He knows what he's doing. He's really good. So I was really impressed with Chris Hatton.
Cool. Yeah.
So what's the coming from the cover scene for years? What's the big differences that you're seeing in the original scene and just doing things original, like the difference in the crowds and the way the booking is with venues, things like that? Because I'm in the same boat. I came from doing covers for 20 years.
So what you feel my pain.
I absolutely do. And names are coming in that are household names for the Cleveland original scene, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That's exactly how I was.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the most people we have in here. I don't think we've had a cover musician.
Yeah, I was looking at your people, and I'm like, I'm really out of place here.
That's the way I feel over here, but it's great because it's very refreshing, and now I'm kind of getting comfort zone.
But
all right, we got 80s stuff and covers.
But the difference was in at least in an 80s cover band, you get crowds of people following you show to show to show, and every Friday, Saturday night you play out in Put-in Bay, and you get 20 people going on the ferry and getting hotels to watch you play. I mean, Billy draws that kind of people anyway, but that's what you saw, and everyone's having the same amount of fun, same drinks, and I think that might have been kind of what got too repetitious. Or how I got burned out. But now the scene is like.
Yeah, would you say you did that for how many years?
Well,
with Billy Morris.
With Billy, I think it's been I think I was with him for 8 or 9 years total between the Breakfast Club and Sunset Strip, and I hold the record for playing with Billy the longest consecutively. No one's ever going to be able to.
Not even the Cherry Pie guys. Yeah.
No, I hold the record.
All right.
Oh, because
I was burned out after just a year and a half with Billy Like Soda. I couldn't do that anymore. Most of
those guys are intense, though. I mean, they're fun, but they're.
It's a party. On stage and in the crowd.
Yeah.
You got to bring the energy.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun though. I've seen them a couple times. I jammed with them a couple times on stage, just a few songs.
Mm-hmm. Cool. The new lineup. Yeah.
The new lineup.
The new lineup.
Yeah. Well, you find that in a lot of the cover bands, you find a lot of rotation going on.
A lot of turnover. Yeah.
Especially lately, it seems like it's just a huge shakeup in the Cleveland cover music scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if COVID's the reason of that, but
I think maybe COVID brought everyone to that same realization you had. Do I really want to do this anymore? No, let's bring in the next group of people to try
that's
this
what
out.
It is too. I see a lot of younger people playing 80s music instead of guys that are 52 years old playing 80s music. And that was the other reason. I'm like, I don't know if you guys ever saw me or what I did. Like, I was very visual, flinging my hair around, back bends, just putting on a show. And then, like, I'd wake up in the mornings, you know, in the last couple of years I was doing it, and just, I gotta walk hunched over for an hour to stand upright.
Yeah.
And then, like, that part of the reason was, you know, I'm like, how can I keep doing this? You know, and I'm either I do it or I don't kind of guy. I don't half-ass it. And, you know, I gotta stop.
You can't half-ass, like, when you're doing, like, hair metal.
Right.
There's, you know, I remember just coming up and just bashing cymbals with other cymbals.
Try to break
like whatever I could do to, like, be like, I'm in the back of the stage and I want to be in the front of everybody's mind, you know, and everybody on the stage with me better be doing the same thing. We're all competing for everyone's attention the whole time, and we're gonna go fucking nuts right now. Yeah, and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, what the fuck did I do?
To be in like, I don't know about the 90s, but 80s, you gotta want attention to be. You know.
Well, I was playing 90s stuff, but I was playing it as, you know, I'm Tommy Lee up here. I don't give a fuck what's going on.
Yeah, I would want to see, you know, I want to see those cameras pointed at me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You ever check out Zoltan Chaney? He drums with he's with Slaughter, Mark Slaughter, going solo now, and he was with Vince Neil doing the solo stuff.
Oh, cool.
Check him out. Drummer,
very visual.
The most visual drummer I've ever seen in my life by kicking cymbals in the middle of the songs. I mean, I've tried to do some of this stuff. I actually posted a video not too long ago where, like, put a kicking cymbal to my left, my hi-hats, where I'm like, I'm going to kick this thing every once in a while I was playing in a Leonard Skinner tribute band.
Well, that's hilarious.
But people, check him out. Zoltan Chaney, Zoltan. Chaney.
Right.
Yeah, very, very intense drummer.
Yeah, I think if I were to ever do it again, it would be like a 90s pop rock or grunge thing. It just was, not only is it familiar, but like less intense on stage, you know? Yeah. And like still a big fan base.
Did you guys, either one of you guys go to the 21 Pilot show?
No, I didn't go.
I'm not a big fan, but like I heard that it was like really awesome.
Yeah, I'm a fan of theirs. They're doing good stuff with like the future, I guess, is what
the
we could
future.
go. Like this is like they're like for me. This is the future of music, and they're good. Just a duo doing everything, and I think the main guy mainly plays bass, but then he'll like jump over to piano and like loop something on, and
I like Glass Animals.
Oh, I've heard good things about Glass Animals too. Yeah,
I'm on the whole Wolfpack and then Krongman. Like, those are my two favorite. Well, all the branches of Wolfpack that have gone on too. The Wolfman. Did you see like all the videos they put out? So I think it's Wolfman. They put out like a whole album that they made videos on YouTube of first, and then they just put it out as a whole like hour and a half compilation of all the stuff. It's not as like, I guess not as like built around the bass as everything else was, because Joe Dart isn't in everything, and that guy just like is ridiculous with everything that he does on the bass. But very, very worth checking out. Wolfman.
Cool. Who else is new that you guys are liking?
I've been out of I've been so busy the last year and a half where I haven't like had a chance to really try to like find new music. So I'm
even like the last 5 years, we'll say.
I like a band called Talk, T-A-U-K.
Oh yeah,
those guys
they're awesome.
I love them.
Oh, man. We did one of their songs at a jam night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that song was that?
Collateral? Was it Collateral?
It was Friction.
Okay.
Friction, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did Friction, and Collisions is another tune of theirs I love to play.
Yeah, those guys.
Mind Shift.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
love
saw
that
them.
that whole style of music.
Yeah, the first time I saw them, I was searching some Beatles covers, and they did "I Want You, She's So Heavy," and they recorded in their like Beatles basement. Have you ever seen that version of theirs?
No, I haven't.
Look it up, and
it
just
you will.
It just grooved, and I'm like, this is so cool. And then I went and saw what else they did, and I'm like, this is my new favorite.
Oh yeah.
I was just watching
first time I saw them ever perform, they did Immigrant Sung Bulls on Parade mashup, and they don't sing, so it's like cool. Still all the melodies in there, and like think about how similar those riffs are too, and how like lock those in.
I did a Bulls on Parade Crazy Train mashup once with Grunge DNA that I didn't know was coming up. We were playing Bulls on Parade, and when you get to like the dun 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 dun, they took it straight into like dun 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 dun.
I might have to add that to my set list.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like they caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, I know this one too. Cool, we're good.
That's nice. Cool.
The Beatles Tribute. There's one called The Analogs that's out there.
The Analogs?
The Analogs. They put together shows. They play entire albums, but they have a full symphony with them, and they switch instruments constantly.
And they do have legit covers?
They do like legit the whole album straight through, and they have vintage period instruments and everything.
That's cool.
It's ridiculous.
Well, talking about the Beatles, like I'm a big, I have respect for all the Beatles catalog, but Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper really stand out to me.
Abbey Road for me. Yeah.
Because I've been always drawn to more trippy music than conventional music.
Yeah.
So
I like them both. That's why Rubber Soul's my favorite, right smack dab in the middle.
From Rubber Soul which came first, Rubber Soul or Revolver?
Rubber Soul.
Okay, from there 65. On is where I'm just hooked. But they re-released most of that stuff in
hint.
in spatial audio on Apple Music, and if you get a good set of headphones, the Abbey Road mix, they have at the very end, what is it, Her Majesty that they throw in, but if you just end it right before that, it is the most perfect album I've ever heard. Like just throwing those headphones on.
You love spatial audio.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man. It spoiled me. I bought a set of headphones that played that, and let my wife try them on for a second until she disappeared for a couple hours, and I was like,
cool. Can you explain those?
So spatial audio, also known as Dolby Atmos when it's not Apple branded, kind of adds a dimension of height to the music. So you don't just get left and right. It sounds like different levels.
Really?
It sounds like it's coming from different places.
All that would be humanly possible.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
I spent too much money on a set of headphones, and it's ridiculous. I hear songs like I've never heard.
I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
As a drummer, I've heard Tom Sawyer how many million times? The first time I heard it on this, it was the first time I've heard it ever. I hear the bottom head of the drums.
Wow.
It's that's the best way I can put it as a drummer. I hear the bottom head resonate as Neil's doing this, going all the way around through all the toms. Yeah. And you hear the bottom heads just rumble. Apple, we will take you as a sponsor too.
Yeah.
Cha-ching. Put us in spatial audio.
It's worth a try.
Well,
what?
This is Rob Rocks on the podcast with us today. For those lost track.
Oh yeah, we were going to go through the second half of our sponsors there. We did do half at the beginning. Do you want to hit it?
Yeah, we can do that.
Hit it.
Cool. We'd like to give a shout out to Enlightenment Entertainment, Brian and Emily, the wonderful husband-wife duo, providing some of the best stage lighting in the area.
And the people that have a harder schedule than the musicians that are playing.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Very hard schedule for the lighting people. Yeah. We have an episode with them. Episode 2. Yeah. We at Cuyahoga Sound Podcast.
Oh,
yes.
I see how it is.
This is the one episode Chuck's not on.
Yeah. Not that I take that personal. Hold any grudges.
Yeah, we've already said every episode, but we'll say it till the ends. But you're moving. You're leaving us.
Yeah, I know we say it too much.
Well, people only listen to one episode a person, it seems. So.
Yeah, we get about 22 minutes, I think, an episode, and people bail. Mm-hmm. So we need to say the important stuff 22 minutes in. That's why no guest ever knows what the last question is.
That's right. Yeah.
I was watching the beginning to end.
Oh, really?
Several episodes. Yeah.
We found our one listener.
Well, because when I'm at work, I can, because I'm working with my hands and just bring my little JBL wireless Bluetooth speaker and
is that like the tube-shaped
one?
Yeah, those things are cool. I see those all over the place. Yeah.
Cool. You watch them or listen to them?
Both.
Oh, nice.
I listen to them 100% of the time. I watch maybe, because I gotta focus on what I'm doing sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. Shopping on Amazon.
Yeah. We don't want our spaceships to be half-assedly built.
No, they're the the paperwork and the quality of work that is required for that stuff, it's sickening. It's crazy. Like, if you do 4 hours of work, you're doing 8 hours of paperwork for it.
Oh wow!
And it goes through so many, because like that Voyager that was built in the 70s and they launched and it's past the solar system already and it's still going. It has to survive the launch, which is a ton of 30 G's of force, and it's got to heat, cold, elements of space vacuum, so the electronics have to continue to work that long. So they're like, it has to be like perfect. The soldering, the inspections, like 20x magnification. We X-ray some of our soldering.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Nice.
How long have you been in that field?
I've been in the aerospace field since I got out of high school. I went in the military, was in the Air Force during Desert Storm, and then I went to college to get my electronics degree, and then was in aviation probably for 12 years, and then I went to space, and then I went back to aerospace, and then back to space again.
Is it turning more into a space race rather than collaboration now between countries?
Well, originally,
way off the music tangent.
Yeah.
This is more interesting.
Originally, it was us versus Russia, because that was an ego thing. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Strictly ego.
And the only one we won was the race to the moon. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And
But
so
we're doing it again.
But we still say we win, even though
we
that
win.
was our one thing.
Because they quit after
They
that.
sent a dog up there. Yeah.
But no, we like right now, with you got Jeff Bezos, you got Elon Musk, you got all these private sector companies now building, and NASA's like, yeah, please do this stuff for us. So they're contracting out, and it's gonna be commercial before we know it. So, but I'll be retired by then, because that's the goal, is to, music's really passing. So I'm gonna just don't need that anymore.
Here on Earth, they just did the first commercial trip to the North Pole with one of the icebreaker ships. They made an icebreaker cruise ship.
To the North Pole.
To the North Pole.
All the way to the North Pole?
All the way to the North Pole. It took
How thick was the ice?
I was watching. I guess this will be my YouTube recommendation for this one. There's a travel couple called Kara and Nate. And they have millions of subscribers, so they got invited on this trip, which is cool. France is putting it on. But it took I guess the way the ice was there. They were showing their navigation system is measuring the thickness of the ice to find the easiest way to get up there. And it was an hour and a half of where they were almost there, and they were counting down the degrees. And they're like, oh, we missed. We got to back up and try again. And they went to the North Pole. It was the first commercial trip to the North Pole.
Up there. They would have had to dock and then
a mile
walk
thick.
there.
It's you could actually an icebreaker made it through. They have an icebreaker cruise ship.
But what about
I don't want to know what it
Santa?
cost. It's exactly what I said. I'm like, I would have totally brought a Santa outfit there and just hung out and been like,
They had to have a bridge for the Polar Express too.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Are you saying all that stuff isn't real?
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. No youngins have made it in. We're 55 minutes into the episode.
Oh, they're asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, they're asleep by now. Yeah. That same couple did a trip to Antarctica that looked really cool. You actually camp out on the ice for a night, and they have people watching out for polar bears and
Did
stuff.
they go to the South Pole?
No, they just made it to Antarctica from South
Bunny
America. Yeah, he hangs out there. Got a super deep hole.
Isn't Antarctica actually really huge? The size of Europe?
I'm not sure, but it seems like a
think
big
it's bigger than
landmass.
Europe.
Yeah, it's a big landmass.
So when you eat, the walk to the actual South Pole.
They didn't make it to the South Pole. They just
would
take
drive
some
or
time.
snowmobile, whatever. Yeah.
That would take some time.
They just
I would
camped at
imagine.
the South Pole KOA.
Yeah.
Just past
They
the
had a
rest,
whole power hookup and everything.
just past the rest area.
Even that was I was like, that looks really cool. And I look at trips, and the cheapest one was $12,000. I was like, well, that's a cool trip that I won't be taking unless I hit the lotto.
But to be freezing, I don't think I would want to do this.
I would totally. It looked really cool. Check out Kara and Nate. They
Think they have bands down there?
Nah, I don't think so. Just snow bands.
Good one.
Yeah. More dad jokes just rolling out.
That's part of my show, actually, is dad jokes. Because, like, my whole thing in life is you got to have fun. Whether it's your job, your whatever, playing music. You know, if you're not fun, get out of the situation and get into another one. And that comes across on my show. So it's often you'll hear me say a dad joke or something.
That's the spirit of, like, the 80s stuff. Is like, we're having nothing but a good time.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. How about the songs that you do? Are there songs you make sure you do every time? Or...
there's some that I do every time just because I either start with but I usually start with like a couple of 70s, like Steve Miller Band. I do an acoustic version of Down Under from Men at Work.
That's one of my all-time favorites. Yeah. I stopped off a train to buy bread in Brussels. Yeah, because I was like, dude, we had to stop while we were on a train going to the Netherlands. I'm like, we're stopping in Brussels. I'm getting off and getting bread.
Was the guy 6'4"?
He was not.
No?
No.
Full of muscles.
He didn't ask about my language or anything.
But no, I'll start with like the lighter 70s, and then like every show is different. You might get an older crowd, you might get a 30-something, 40-something crowd. So I'll slowly go to the 80s, and then it goes anywhere from there. I'll do some 60s, I'll do some Beatles, I'll do some Harry Styles, a little bit of everything. But one specific time I was playing at the Front Street Social in Berea. It's a little college, bar.
Oh my! Hey, dude, that's where we did the talk song at an open jam.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that place. I'm back there next year, because they usually take the summers off because it's a college town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I was playing there.
Baldwin Wallace.
Yeah. There you go. But I was
lots of synchronicity in this episode.
Yeah.
It's repetitive. But no, I'll often if I'm not getting like a really good response right away, like you get them right away, or sometimes you don't. So if I don't, I'll try a little bit of this. I'll throw stuff at the wall, see if it sticks, and then eventually I'll be like, all right, what do you guys want to hear? And the guy was like, the whole table in the back was like, anything except the 80s, and I'm like 2 songs into the show, and I'm like, I gotta do this whole show without doing any 80s. So I'm like going in my 90s repertoire, some 60s, and then I had them. They were like getting into it. They were enjoying it, having fun. And then by that time, after they've been drinking, I'm like, all right, now it's time to hit them with Dead or Alive from Bon Jovi. And they're singing at the top of their lungs.
The guys that said no 80s.
Yeah. So once I got them, then I'm like, I can play whatever I want. So.
Cool. Nice.
But no, it's my song list it's really all over the place. And I'll throw a country song in there. I don't do a lot of country just because my hair's too long for country.
Do you have any
But your long hair just can't cover up your redneck.
I left in the cowboy hat at home.
Do you have any songs that like doing an acoustic version was like really fun to break down and like make way different than the original?
Yeah, there's a lot. I do Rocket Man.
Nice.
I start out with the chord. It sounds like everyone's like, "Oh, Pink Floyd, I love it," and I'm just nodding my head. And then I'll loop that intro chord, and I'll just start soloing over it, and I'll start shredding. What I call shredding. It's not
acoustic shredding.
Yeah.
And I'll just make it really groovy, and I'll do I do a half beat to it. I don't even know if that's the proper term or not.
But we're good.
It's like
halftime, yeah.
So I'll do that, and then I'll just she packed bags last night pre-flight, and then I go into it, and it's just really like dark, trippy, jazzy version of it, and that usually goes over well. What's another one I do? Let me look at my list.
Rick Beato does a great "What Makes This Song Great" on Rocket Man, and breaks down like all the slide guitar going on and everything.
That's throwing it back to an early episode for YouTube recommendation.
Oh, with Rick Beato? Yeah, he does some fantastic stuff. I'm still watching him all the time.
Cool.
They had a great discussion about whether these guitars that are worth a fortune right now, these old vintage Gibsons, are going to plummet in value when all the boomers die off. It was
Makes
an
sense.
interesting conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, basically they came down to like collectors are still going to collect things that are expensive, so if you have one that's beat up, like my old SG that doesn't have its vibrola anymore.
That's Les Paul.
Yeah, that's actually, that is Les Paul. Thanks for correcting me. Those things they think are going to plummet in value, which is fantastic to hear.
They
from
need
me.
a plummet. They're just it's outrageous.
Yeah, it's getting nuts. I picked up stuff while I could. Like if I find a deal, I'll buy it.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. I've
what'd you buy today?
I bought a Rickenbacker bass that I can't wait to get here. I've never played a Rickenbacker bass, so I got a 4003 coming up.
Well, that's when I'm gonna come hang out, man.
We're gonna rock the thing. We're gonna turn everything up as loud as it goes and play some Ace of Spades or something.
All right.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
What are you doing that day, Rob?
I think it's supposed to come
here
on Friday. Yeah, you'll hear us from here.
But no, I do a couple Prince songs, When Doves Cry, Little Red Corvette. I do acoustic versions.
No bass in that one, right? And not in When Doves Cry. I don't think there's any.
No, there's not even really much music. It's just a drum beat. But I do this thing where I just do this A minor chord over my beat. Dreams from Van Halen with Hagar. I do an acoustic version of that usually goes over good.
I love that solo.
I don't do the solo. I was
It's a
just
tough one on acoustic, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I always like my thing is that like if I don't do a solo, I just tell people I'm not that good, just can't do it.
Do you bring more than one guitar?
Yeah, I usually bring two. I got a Guild acoustic, which used to be my primary. It's what's it called, the orchestra shape, or it's smaller than a dreadnought and it's a little bit thinner, so it's more comfortable to play. That used to be my main one, and then I got a Godin A6 Ultra.
Godins are fantastic.
Yeah,
I got one of those on a trade.
I've owned previous ones, electrics, before, and then when I saw the Godin A6, because I was getting tendonitis, like when I was doing it for about 6 months, I was getting tendonitis, and I'm like, I need something that plays better than this. And I saw the Godin, and Fender makes one too, an acoustic caster or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I got the Godin, and it feels like you're playing an electric. It's got the piezo bridge, it's chambered out, and then it's got the pickup. And the tonal variances you can get out of that are insane.
Yeah.
So that's my main guitar now.
And you can run those through the Roland stuff, I think, too. They have that plug.
Nice.
The crazy plug.
Do you ever loop in any bass lines with that?
Yeah, I do have the Boss OC5, is that right? I got that. I use that maybe on like 20% of the songs. I don't use it a lot. It's usually just the Mel 9. And then I have the TC Helicon Voice Live Play harmonizer for my vocals. And then that's another one where I dial it down so that like if you guys were out there, you'd know that I was using a harmonizer, but the average listener is going to be like, man, that guy's good.
Yeah. It sounds good,
Yeah.
So I do use that for enhancements.
Yeah, I've always, my motto has been, when you're playing a gig, the musician, as long as you start and end, as a band or whatever, together, you're cool. Nobody's going to notice except for the musicians that are going to pick on every single note that you play no matter what. But
the guys, they're standing there like this watching you.
If you start and end together, that's all that matters.
Yeah, or like with guitar solos, if you play the first 4 notes right and the last 4 notes, everything.
That guy was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do hit a wrong note, you do a pick slide or hit the whammy bar.
Or you play the next note right. How wrong a note is depends on the next note you play. I forget who said that.
I like that.
Well, the one thing that George
play
Lynch
the shit out of that wrong note.
Well, that's what George Lynch said from Doc, and he's like, you got to hit. Sometimes you hit those wrong notes deliberately with authority, and it sounds good. Because he did have that sound where just some of those notes sounded odd, but he hit them hard and became part of his style.
Or you make them a trill.
Yeah, when you play with that attitude, it comes through, man. One of my favorite drumming songs is Straight Through the Heart from Dio, because the drumming just sounds like this dude he just has confidence just pouring out of his ears, just through the whole thing, every drum note. There's no is this the right thing to hit? It's no, I hit that on purpose, right? Fantastic.
I do a Dio song sometimes too. I do Rainbow in the Dark,
nice.
Acoustic. I always, whenever I play that, I don't always do it. If someone requests it, because I used to do it with the other band, and so if someone requests, I'll play it.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, I bet you no one else plays Dio in here, because no one else is gonna do that.
Right.
It's dumb enough.
So when it's like that high tenor kind of voice, do you take it down the octaves with it as it being an acoustic show?
I belled it out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do Motley
right
Crue
answer.
Home Sweet Home, and I sing it like Vince Neil would sing it. Well, 30 years ago.
Yeah, the way the Vince album version Vince Neil sings.
Not today, Vince Neil.
Vince Neil. That's the rumor. That's like how Tommy Lee got his ribs broken. Was that he kept calling Vince Neil, and Vince tackled him.
Well, it's like the meme with that the abominable snowman or whatever.
Yeah. If Vince said, "Quit sending me that shit." Have you seen that?
No, what is
There's a meme of the abominable snowman from Rudolph, right?
Yeah, and then Vince Neil, like, he looks just like him.
He got pissed because everybody kept sending him this meme. I don't know if he really got pissed, but that's the meme that eventually got around even more. Is Vince going, "Quit sending me this shit"? You got to see it because it's fantastic.
I will find it.
Yeah. Memes. I love memes.
Yeah, man, they're a great way to.
I get to do memes for part of my job, and that's the best part of my job.
Do you really?
by far.
Told me
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
That's
I do.
pretty cool.
I'm in marketing, so yeah, I get to do memes sometimes, and sometimes I make them
Trying
like
to
too
get
far.
customers come back, right?
So like we had one I wasn't allowed to send out, but it was during like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing going on, and I had a picture of Amber Heard on there, and it was like, "Did your last finance company shit the bed? We can help." And
That's hilarious.
I was not allowed to put that one out, but I sent it to all my coworkers.
That's great. Man. What a job.
That would have made money.
I think it would have. I've like pushed the boundaries a little bit, and at first, like the owner of the company is like, "Why the hell did I hire this guy?"
You know your limit, so you just kind of ride it.
Well, like all of a sudden, like some of my limits started hitting numbers we hadn't hit, so the number, my limit got.
That's
pushed
one of the
a little
great things about memes is a tool. Like it's like it can push the limits, but it's cute, you know. Or,
right?
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So it's more
in
tolerable
jest,
for
yeah.
like people that would complain.
yeah. It's the new freedom of expression is memes.
Yeah. How'd we get there?
The new frontiers. He's pushing new frontiers in space. I'm making memes.
All the technology of like phones in general is just changing everything.
Yeah.
How about some space secrets?
Space secrets. How about a space joke? You want to hear a space
Yeah.
joke? Okay. How do astronauts keep warm? Space heaters.
Ah.
All right. Cool. I think
all I
my
got.
mouth twitched a little. That was
You're laughing now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
No, I keep the space jokes out of the show. But
Space
the
jokes.
the quality of humor is about the same.
Made me think about Space Ghost Coast to Coast. You ever watch that show?
Years ago, I used to
Yeah.
listen to that.
Yeah, that's on I think the Comedy Central or no, the Cartoon Network like app or channel, whatever. You can check out old Space Ghost Coast to Coast. He would have like Beck on as a guest, and it's just ridiculous. I can't even describe the show. It's ridiculous. There was a cartoon Space Ghost interviewing guests that I don't know, and he had Zoltar on keyboards, yelling at him all the time.
I love how cartoons come up every episode. Yeah.
I love cartoons.
Me too.
I absolutely love cartoons. Yeah, I'm not shy to admit that.
I don't watch much TV.
You're a busy guy. You got
Yeah,
real
you
stuff
Between
to
the
worry
day
about.
job
Yeah.
and my shows this summer, because like I was really doing all summer long 4 or 5 shows a week. And
Yeah, I saw how busy you were. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, he
But,
would,
like, I was having
all
so
of
much
a su-
fun.
All of a sudden, like, full time. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
I'm loving it. It's like new, it's fresh, and I'm having fun. You work the crowd. You gotta, sometimes you gotta hit it for 2.5 hours. You finally get them after that.
Yeah, the extra income.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's always nice. Yeah,
No,
how's
no.
that going to a solo act?
yeah.
That's there's some.
No one to fight about with money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm not complaining.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
And then too, on top of that, there's times where like if I'm playing, like so we had a good work ethic in the other band, and we'd play all night.
Yeah.
So I kind of like if people are having fun, I'm not gonna take a break. So I'll go 3 hours, 3.5 hours without taking a break. Just keep going straight through.
Yeah.
I don't want
way to
people
do
to
it.
leave. It's like-
Yeah. I know as soon as you stop, that's their chance to bail.
So I just don't give them a chance. And the other thing that's really cool is like I mean, I've developed my show and it's still growing. I'm still learning the craft and everything. But more times than not, when I'm done playing at a new place where I'm playing there the first time, as soon as I'm done, they're there with their calendar and they're like, "When can we have you back?"
Yeah,
and
it's a great feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, like I remember it was March and I was like pretty much booked through Thanksgiving. So I'm like, how about December? so it's really working and I'm having fun.
Got any original stuff you're gonna be coming out with?
My original stuff, I do. That's how I originally started this whole thing, because I quit and then I bought the looper for my original stuff because my original music is very loop based. It's trippy, it builds, it shrinks, and it's like Pink Floyd meets Enya meets Yanni meets it just really very moody and almost on the dark side. So like I bought this looper and I'm doing these things and I did a couple shows like that and it was a lot of fun, but just kind of play for free when you do that stuff. But I've been slipping, just some of that in with the shows.
Yeah.
Especially if the crowd's not into it right away. If it's like a dinner crowd, because I'll play some restaurants, and they're not paying attention to me. I'm gonna throw in one of my originals, So that may become more. And if more opportunities arise where I could do like a whole show or like a dual show with someone else, I'm gonna probably take advantage of that because that's my passion is doing my original stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is that the 10x3?
That's right. Yeah.
Check that out. Are you
about
familiar?
to say that.
Yeah.
10x3.
He knows more than I do. Go ahead.
So there's a Cleveland legend named Brent Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know of his stuff, but I know the name.
Okay. Yeah. He's amazing singer songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything.
I watched
everything he
the
puts out
podcast
is beautiful.
Cool.
So
we found our listener.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Every Wednesday, now it's at the Bop Stop. It's a jazz club on Detroit, just a little west of downtown.
Is that Gabe Pollock's place?
Oh, not so much anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
well, he's moved on. I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, there's a event he puts on every Wednesday that he has for almost a decade called the 10x3, where 10 singer-songwriters from the area will do 3 songs.
Okay.
And that's the whole show. It always ends with him or.
Are they singer-songwriters or they're instrumentalists?
Mostly singer-songwriters.
Yeah. I can't do that.
What?
Sing songwriter, like original. My best friend growing up when we were in a band together, we were like starting to do our own originals, because that's what we do. Get a home studio with my Tascam Porta 1, remember?
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, like we're like coming up with songs, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna, I had some good guitar riffs, and I'm writing these lyrics, and like, hey, check this out. I see his eyes open, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude. I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't ever write lyrics ever again. I was never good at it. My vocabulary is like that big.
Oh, so your original stuff is instrumental.
Yeah, it's strictly instrumental.
Okay.
Just mood music.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't have recommended the 10x3. Well, he might still have you on.
Yeah.
I'd play it.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, if you're still listening and you want a chance to play the 10x3, just email Brent at 10by3@gmail.com. Yeah, that's how he gets.
I might email him anyway. Just say, hey.
Yeah, he was a really cool guest talking about like songwriting and how he used to go to airports back when you were able to. When you were able to go meet people at the gate and everything, and just listening to conversations. That's something that's out of like all the podcasts. That's something that's really stuck with me. It's like, wow, that's so cool to just sit there and capture raw emotions happening.
Yeah.
And putting it on paper.
If I was good with lyrics, I would, I'd be all over it, but it just never, not my thing.
All right. Doesn't need to be.
Probably from coming from that 80s stuff,
Yeah.
You got Unskinny Bop as your muse.
Yeah, there's just not much creativity going on there.
Yeah. Nothing more to say.
Cool. Well, I think we can start to wrap it up here.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the last question.
I just wanted to thank him first. Well, all right, what's the last question?
The last question. We always look for a recommendation of either a movie, TV show, or a YouTube channel we should check out.
He doesn't really watch TV. He was saying.
No, well, I do. We discussed earlier. Drive to Survive, Formula One.
Yeah, I second that.
Take it back.
Yeah, I second that. Check that out. And if you're not watching Formula One, start doing it now. You can watch Ferrari make thousands and thousands of mistakes.
Oh, they're horrible.
You can watch Mercedes as an underdog team for the first time in years, not make any mistakes, except for Lewis Hamilton last weekend.
Yeah.
Well, when did the season start?
It started back around St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. And so is this towards the end?
They just had like the summer break. Races. Yeah, there's 8 more races. They are in the Netherlands. So when this is airing, actually Monza will be going on like the morning that this airs, and you should all watch Monza because it's the fastest race of the year in Italy. It's fantastic. Do
you want to know if any
Ragazzi will be yelling and supporting Ferrari and swearing at them as they make a lot of mistakes.
How do they determine a champion?
It's points. Yeah, there's a point system.
Is there an end of the year race kind of thing?
There is. Last year's was ridiculous in Abu Dhabi. If you go back and watch the last season of Drive to Survive, you'll see what happened because
came down to the last lap of the last race.
And
then controversy.
Yes, I'm a Red Bull fan, and Red Bull ended up winning the season based on the last lap of the race, and even I'm not comfortable with how it ended. Go watch last year's Drive to Survive. Fantastic show. Do
you want to hear my upcoming shows before I leave?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
1,000%.
On Monday the 5th, which is Labor Day?
Yeah, this will be out the week after that.
The week after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
start on the 12th.
People that have gone there.
Yeah. Yes.
And they
Thanks for being there.
Okay, so after that, I'm going to be Iron Horse Saloon. It's in Burton. Yeah. World famous Iron Horse Saloon. It's a biker bar. And it's also a kayak bar.
Kayak.
I played there one time, and then she's like, "Can you have me here every Sunday?" And I'm like, "As many Sundays as possible." So I'll be there then. Foundry Social in Medina, September 30th. And because September is like where I'm starting to cut off, because October, I'm only doing one show because my son is in marching band, and I'm going to dedicate to watching him, take the month off, especially after the summer.
What's he playing?
He plays the sousaphone.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Cool.
He's a senior. So.
Cool. Is he into gadgets and like guitar repair or
no,
space things?
I tried to get him into that, and he actually played. I taught him how to play the wedding march on the guitar, and me and Billy and him and my best friend did a 4-part harmony wedding march while my wife was coming down, or to-be wife came down, and after that he just like, no, that's your thing. Dad's not cool. I don't want to do anything that Dad does because Dad's not cool. So, but Formula One is our.
All right, cool. Yeah,
nice.
Formula One's fantastic. Got to start watching when they get to the mid-season or towards the end when they hit North America. You got to come over. I'll let you know when it is.
All right, yeah, let me know.
But if people go to Rob Rocks CLE, just Rob Rocks, no decimals. Rob Rocks CLE. It's my website. It's got all my shows on there, all my I love me photos, my rock poses, stuff like that. So.
Okay. Oh yeah. Speaking of CLE, we forgot to mention Russell Jones.
Oh yeah, Russell Jones.
Sorry, Russell
Jones. Drones CLE.
CLE.com.
Yeah. Drone lessons and videos and everything. Drones racing.
Yeah. And
saving lives.
Yeah, check out his YouTube channel. Jones Drones is Facebook. It's lots of really cool photography, really cool videos, drone footage.
And I've got a YouTube thing to recommend. There's a channel. It's Rhett Shull, RHETTSHULL, I believe. He's always on with Rick Beato, but he's a guitar player, and he made a trip to Chicago Music Exchange, which I really want to go check out. It seems like a cool store. But 10 minutes into the video, go in 10 minutes, they go into the basement. He's trying out guitars, and they bring out a 64 Gibson Dove acoustic with a B-bender on it.
Acoustic with a B-bender.
Yes, and this dude plays cashmere in a style where he's doing the drums on the top, and he's using the B-bender to be Robert Plant on top of the guitar going on. It's fucking incredible.
You have to send me that. That's,
send me
I can't
that
picture
too.
it.
It is fucking. I'll show it to you when we get out of here. I'll put it up on the TV out there. I'll show you guys.
All right.
So, but the rest of you, Rhett Shull, RHETTSHULL is. I believe that's the spelling off the top of my head. He's got a pretty cool channel. He hangs out with Rick Beato a lot. They kind of do a lot of collaborative stuff, but he's a great guitar player, and yeah, that it was a really cool thing. 10 minutes in, like exactly. I sent that to somebody at work the other day, so that's how I know exactly where it starts. Check it out.
And for me, if you like shorts, well, not too short, like 10, 12-minute episodes.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah.
Shakezilla!
Yeah, sure. It's on Netflix. It's called Love, Death, and Robots.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. I like short things. Like ADHD, man. I'm in.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for this interview?
I rest my case.
Just an honor for you guys to have me on here.
It's great having you on.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that we got to hang out again.
Yeah,
It's been
a
too
while.
long. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cool. A lot of empty clinks there.
Yeah, that's all right. It's a good thing.
For Cuyahoga Sound Podcast, I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
Peace.